So for this pant, we won't be having any dart at the front, but the back is going to have that, because by the time we had his allowance for the back, we're going to have extra. So we use that for the dart of the back part. So here are the measurements we'll be using: waist 29, hip 38, then the length 47. Although I didn't later measure the length on the paper because we're using a pattern paper. But if you're if you're doing it on the fabric, you have to measure your length. Then we'll have our crotch depth formula. The formula is hip divided by 4 plus 1 inch, or 1.5 inches. If I'm working with hip measurement that is less than 38, I use plus 1 inch. But if I'm using hip measurement that is like 38 and above, I use plus 1.5 inches. So here we have 38 divided by 4 plus 1.5 inches. That will give us 11 inches. So that is what we'll be using for our crotch depth. And for the crotch extension, I usually use hip divided by 16. So in this case, we'll have 38 divided by 16. It gave us 2.37, but I eventually used 2.5 inches. I approximated it to 2.5 inches. So after all of that, we'll be taking our body measurements now on the pattern paper. So here we divide our waist by 4. That's 29 divided by 4. We have 7.25. I marked it plus 1 inch dart allowance. We're going to take the dart allowance, but we're going to close the dart on the pattern paper, plus 1.5 inches for seam allowance. Then we'll come down to our crouch depth, which is 11 inches. So I marked 11 inches there. Then I drew a straight line on it. After that, I went in with the hip measurement divided by 4, which gave us 9.5 inches. So 9.5 inches hip measurement plus 1.5 inches seam allowance. The same way we added it to the waist, part, we add it to the hip part as well. So okay, this was where I was calculating the crotch extension. So like I said, that will be 38 divided by 16. So I approximated it to 2.5 inches. Then I marked it there. So after marking it there, I went up by, let's say, 1 inch or 1.5 inches. I eventually canceled that line because I won't need it, but I just needed that so I could mark where we'll cover our crotch extension from. So I went out by 1 inch. Can you see that? So I marked it there. Then I connected it from the waist down to where we marked our crotch extension. And one of the tricks to making a perfect pant is to use a material or a fabric that is a bit stretchy. It doesn't have to be very, 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 very stretchy. But if you use something that is a bit stretchy, it gives it this perfect shape, especially at that crotch area. Do you understand? So that's how it works. So from there, we went down by our knee measurement. For an average person, I usually use 20 inches or 21 inches max, but I would recommend that you measure it on your client. So then from there, we divided our measurement from that side, from the hip or the crouch part to the crouch extension. And you understand what I'm talking about. So can you see? So we measured that place. Here I had 13.75. So I divided by 2. After dividing it by 2, I marked the mid part. So after marking it at the middle, you do the same on the knee measurement, then on the hem. So that means you measure the same 13.75, then you divide it by 2. You mark the midpoint. You do that on the knee, then you do that on the hem too. Then after that, you connect the measurement at the middle. You connect it together. Then on the knee length, I usually come in by 1 inch. It depends on how the person wants their pants. Usually I come in by 1 inch. Sometimes I come in by 1.5 inches. So just check and do what works for you. So you do that. So you connect it from the hip to the knee length, then from the knee length down to the hem. And you do the same on the other side. You come in by 1 inch, then you connect it straight down to the hem point. Then we come back to our waist. We measure our darts here. So we do our dart intake. From there, we'll close our darts. So just look at what I'm doing. You'll get it. Then here we'll get another pattern paper for our back, for the back part of the pants. So here we'll go up by 1.5 inches, because usually the back is always how do I put it now, there's always room for the bum. So from there you connect it to the front part, then from that place you come out by 1.5 inches. That's for the ease allowance I was talking about for the back part. So this is allowance now, that's what we'll use for our dart intake for the back part, don't forget. And from that crouch extension we go out by 2 inches, then from that 2 inches you come down by 0.5 inches, then from that point at the knee measurement you go out by 1.5 inches, then at the hem too you go out by 1.5 inches. So you connect the measurements from that knee part to the hem part. So that's how you do it. Then just look at what I'm doing, you'll understand it. So from that crouch curve, the one for the front part, you connect it so that it will give us it will be like a guide for us to take our other curve for the back. So from that curve now you come out by 1 inch, again the same way we came out by 1 inch for the front parts. Just look at what I'm doing, you're going to get it. So you come out by 1 inch, then it is that 1 inch now that you used to connect from that 0.5. Don't forget that from that 2 inches that we marked for our crouch extension for the back, we went down by 0.5. So it is from that 0.5 that you connect to the waist part, then you connect it back to the knee measurements. So basically that's it for the old trouser for the back part. Then you just trace it, you cut it, and that is it. And don't forget, like I mentioned, the material for trousers, as much as possible you can try to get a fabric that is a bit stretchy, but if you can't, with this old measurements and everything, you're going to get a very nice shape at the crotch extension. And this measurement is for both the back zipper or the side zipper, anyone you choose to use. This measurement works for it. So you're not adding any extra zipper allowance or whatever. The whole the whole seam allowance and everything that we have is enough for your zipper allowance. So thank you.